All right, boys, so today we need to go get a new battery for this rig in order to stop seeing that battery sign and that sign there. So let's hit the road, grab a battery. I got the new Autel scanner tool so we can reset BMS and we should be good to go. Let's get on out of here. All right, boys, and we are off. Let's go head to the parts store, grab a battery for this thing, and hopefully, fingers crossed, our battery sign goes away. On these trucks, you need to reset what's called BMS. It's Battery Monitoring System. And essentially what it does, if you have a dead or low battery like we do at 11.9 volts, the alternator will charge it more than it would a full battery. So when we put a full battery in and don't set the BMS, what's gonna happen is it's going to overcharge the new battery we put in. That's why we got that new Autel scan tool. It's gonna be handy in the future anyways. It does everything like a pro snap-on scanner can do. So let's head to the parts store. Let's get this over with. Ooh, battery acquired. All right, now that we got the battery, let's head back to the shop, get this sucker installed. Boom, here she is. Let's replace the battery. And boys, we have tons to take care of in today's video, inclusive of, whoops, the Civic as well. So let's get this battery replaced in the old F150, hook up our Autel scan tool, which is actually sick. Let me just show you guys what the heck we're working with here, because honestly, this tool is pretty rad. We have the Maxi Diag 806. Boom. I've never been so excited for a scan tool in my life. This is what I've been coming from. And this is what we have now. I got it plugged into the computer this morning, got the SD card with all the info we should need. This is a sick ass scan tool, and this is going to allow us to reset the BMS in that truck. Just to recap, the BMS, it's in these Ford trucks. So with a dead battery, your alternator is going to charge more if you chuck a new battery in it without resetting the BMS. Then in that case, it's going to be overcharging the new battery for some time until it resets by itself. So what you do is when you replace a battery, you reset the BMS with a fancy scan tool, or one other thing you can do is let the truck sit overnight for 8 hours. So say you park it at home, you put the new battery in, you go to bed, plenty more than 8 hours has passed and it should be good to go. But if you want to use it right away, like we do today, to see if that light goes off the dash, you're going to want to reset it with a fancy scan tool. And obviously, this sucker ain't going to do nothing for us. So let's get the hood popped, let's get the battery out, and see what happens. I'm actually excited to use the new scanner. All of my cars except for the truck are OBD1, so I've never needed a nice scanner till now, and we got one. There we go. All right, so here's our battery here. We basically just got the exact same one. So first things first, we're gonna go ahead and disconnect the red, then the ground, pull this sucker out. The tie down for it's right there. Put the new one in and reset BMS. Honestly, I never thought the day would come to where my tripod isn't tall enough to see in the engine bay of one of my vehicles. Here we are. Just for reference, let's look at the Civic's engine bay from this height. We're well over it. This will be an interesting install. Thank God it's quick. There's our battery tie down. Set that aside. We can go ahead and rip this battery out. Put it in its new shield. Pull our caps off. All right, we're gonna tuck all this back up. And now we perform a BMS reset inside the car with the new scanner. Let's give it a shot. All right, so we've got our Autel tool here inside the truck. So now, before we're putting keys in or anything, I'm gonna go ahead, get the scanner out, get it set up, and see what we're working with here. Pop our new scanner out, get our cord. Let's go ahead, chuck that in the back. Doesn't really like to sit in the box with the cord connected to the actual scanner, so we have to connect that now. And you're gonna want the vehicle and accessory for this, the second position, so the one before you actually fire up the truck. Now, I've got to plug this into the OBD2, and I've never been down here on this truck, so hold on. So, here we have the Maxi Diag. Screen is lit up on it, and I'll show you guys kind of step by step on what to do. I'm just gonna switch back over to the iPhone so it's a little easier for me to get around. Let's put the truck into accessory. 2, already. There's no light, but we're gonna go to service and we're going to go to BMS, USA, Ford, processing data, please wait, BMS reset, yes. All right, so if you replace the battery, BMC, replace to reprogram, turn the ignition on and the engine off. All right, so we got no more lights on the dash, no more battery light, no more anything. And that is how you reset BMS and replace a battery on a 2014 Ford F150. I'm sure this basic procedure applies to most, if not all F150s, but this is our 12th gen 5-liter Coyote 2014 F150. Simple as that. This Autel tool is badass. It was super quick, super easy, just did a BMS reset, and here we are. Let's go ahead and shut the truck off, put her back in. And when we went into accessory before, I'll throw it up on screen, there'd be a big battery warning there and it would say radio shutting off. Now we're all set to jet, baby. And since we just did this in last video, let's go ahead and check it again. All right, before we fire it up and make sure the BMS isn't overcharging, let's see what voltage we're working with when it's off. Perfect, 12.6, there we have it. So let's see when it's running. It should be around 14.6-ish. And if so, the BMS shouldn't be overcharging and we're all set. So, and this is what it's at running. 14, it's perfect. BMS reset, it doesn't look like it's overcharging it. And we're all set, baby. Well, boys, we just reset BMS and my window fell off the goddamn track. I gotta go pull this door panel apart and see if I can't fix this because that's terrible. It's all the way down to... Literally, I was just rolling it up to go back and return the battery and I heard a loud pop and the window just fell right down. You have to be shitting me, dude. Like, no way. Day 2, we're back with the door. Let's check this thing out. We got a fresh regulator. This thing is pooched. Hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, this works. What a nightmare. All right, so here's our door. I've got it completely ripped apart. Now we need to take out the regulator. So we got bolt, 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 and bolt. We also have the fresh regulator here. If you guys are wondering part numbers for doorman ones, the passenger side is 751601 and the driver side is 751600. They're one part number off. We're doing the passenger door, so we have this one. Before I even dive into this, let's go ahead, get you guys on the tripod, rip all this off, and go from there. And there's our blown up regulator. You wonder why it's blown up. Look at the cables going everywhere. Shit is chalked. Let's get the new one opened and installed. I'm over this massively. Okay, boys, no screwing around here. Let's get the new one open. All right, here's what a good one is supposed to look like. Oh God. All right, boys, this is not an instructional video. I'm just trying to rip through this, but now that it's installed, we have the slide bolt in, bottom bolt, slide bolt, motor bolt. I'm gonna snug all those down by hand. You don't wanna over torque them. Then, these are the feet that hold the window in. Obviously, they're at the bottom and you can't push it up by hand like we could with that one. That one's broken, that's why you can move this by hand. This one is not broken, so you cannot move it by hand. So I need to put the battery, connect the battery, roll the windows up so that these right here can travel up into this hole and give me access to loosen that nut to clamp onto the window. So I'm gonna go connect the battery. She's gonna hold the window at the very top. I'm gonna run back here, lightly go up on these. You're gonna have to watch this hole here and tell me when you see this nut in this hole. Okay. I'm gonna loosen them up. I'm gonna snug it up once more. And then after that, we're gonna go ahead and tighten them down, and knock on wood, we should be okay. Ready?
Yep. Good.
Okay, go hit it up again.
Hit it up.
Just a little bit, just a nudge. A little more. Okay, stop. You don't want to go too tight on these because obviously it's holding a glass piece. So just snug it up, boys. You don't need to go tight. Hold on, tape. Oh, it didn't leave residue if you pull it the right way. Moment of truth, baby. Go down. Slow. Hold on. Down, just gently, just tap it. Down. Hold on. Okay, down. Up. Slow, stop. Up, 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 up. Fuck yes! Yes! Now boys, I'll be honest with you. You didn't see me take this door handle off because, well, I was freaking, or door panel, not handle, off because I was just freaking choked. But now that the new regulator is in and it works, thank God. Stressful 2 days of having a window taped up that anyone could easily break into the truck with. So thank God none of that happened. But there is this mat that we ended up fully taking off, and it has this glue on it. And the purpose of this mat, it goes over here before the door handle, or the door panel, I keep calling it a handle, but it's a panel, goes back on, because as you can see, there's some water spots on this, and what this does is it prevents water intrusion from the electronics. As you can see, we got a bit of rain last night, and it's a little dark down there. There is a little bit of water, so a little bit does seep through the seals. So this prevents water intrusion from the inside. So you're going to want to make sure to put this back on. Obviously it's the 2014 and this stuff just isn't sticky anymore. So I have this Gorilla Tape, and I've just taken an X-Acto and kind of made a cut line down the middle so it'd be skinnier, and I'm just going to tape kind of all the blank sections where the yellow ripped off, and it should be more than enough to hold this back on. Also, this stuff is pretty resilient. Once you squish it and kind of get it in there, it should kind of hold it as well, but I'm going to do my best to secure this to prevent water intrusion. Once this is on, that's pretty boring. I'll pick it back up. We can put the door handle and the wiring and the latch and everything back on, and fingers crossed, should be mint. And this is what it should look like with that piece back installed. Now I'm going to throw you guys on the tripod. We are going to go ahead and connect the little latch here that goes to the door panel. Once that is installed, I'm going to grab the door panel, seat it in there, connect these, connect the latch. We're going to bolt everything back up. It's super simple. All right, with this on, let's just test the window one more time before we get too ahead of ourselves. All right, now that we've confirmed everything works, latch is back on, let's go ahead and get this door panel back installed. A little bit of a catastrophe getting this thing on. If that black plastic piece isn't perfectly around all the cutouts for the door, you're gonna have a hard time. So we just made a couple little revisions to that. It'll be fine. Now, to take off and get this door panel on, there's a little hidden screw behind here, and it doesn't look like there would be one behind here because it's behind this, which is a seamless piece. It just snaps in there. Pop that off, 8 mil there. Pop this off, 8 mil there. And then down here, there'll be 1, 2 6mm bolts. Once that's done, we're out of here. All right guys, just getting a few last pieces in. 1 6mm, 2 6mm is in, 1 8mm is in up here. So there's going to be 2 different bolts for the ones up here. One's a longer one without a washer, and the other one, come look in here, is with the washer. The one with the washer goes in the door handle. The longer non-washer goes in this little hand handle, cup holder, whatever the hell. Get that in there. Whoopsies. 2 days with no working window taped up. It's a little stressful when you don't live in the best areas and you have tape holding up your window and preventing someone from getting in.
And a tripod.
Yeah, when I stuck a monopod in the door to try and hold it up, but I was worried it was gonna break the glass, So this guy is just gonna snap right in here. Just like that, check her out. There's the one. And then this one is funny because it really looks hidden. It does not look like there'd be anything behind here, but trust me, there is. Ask me how I know. There we go. Let's make sure the door opens and closes. And we're done, boys. See you in the next, probably part 3. I don't know, this is like a whole week's worth of footage you're seeing here in one video, so see you when I see ya. Okay, boys, and after the battery with the BMS reset and the window regulator, that is it. Truck needs an oil change, but that's for a later date. For right now, let's talk a little bit about this Civic. I absolutely love this car, don't get me wrong, but at this point in my life, like, I miss having something like the Veloster N, and I think having the Veloster N really made this make sense, because at the end of the day, this car sits in the garage year round. It maybe goes out 5, 10, maybe 15 times a year, maybe gets a couple thousand kilometers on it a year. We boosted it last winter, we ripped it all spring, all summer, and all fall so far. Now it's just a muddy, mucky mess. It's been snowing on and off, hasn't stuck yet, but it's coming. So unfortunately, we're kind of tucked away for the winter. And at this point, we have 3 cars. We have the F150, which we just got, the new daily. We have the built Civic, of course, and we have the CB7 Accord. But when we had the Accord, the Veloster, and the Civic, you know, those days where you just kind of want to go for a drive, clear your mind, crank the tunes, go blast down a back road, I could hop in the Vel and I could go. For this, it's like I got to drive halfway across the town, pack my stuff up, unload it in here, take the car out, put the daily in here, lock it up, just to go drive it. You literally got to plan a whole day around driving this thing, and it's essentially, it's not a race car, but it's a race car. This is not a daily, it's not going to go out in the snow, it doesn't go out in the rain, it is a built Civic EG. B-Series swapped, big turbo and everything, and at this point in my life, it cost me a lot to have this place to keep it. Without this place, I couldn't keep it because I don't have a home garage. This is it. And to take this car out, it's a huge chore. When we take it out, it's amazing, it's fun, but you're also constantly watching fuel pressure, oil pressure, AFR, everything, looking over your shoulder, you know, making sure everything's clear. You don't want to endanger anybody or get yourself in trouble. So it's just one of those things that it's a little stressful to drive, but it's loads of fun, but it's just not a daily. I want that car again that I can build for you guys, do the part installs, coilover, wheel and tires, lighting, aero, seats, steering wheel, short shifter, full bolt on, a tune. But I also want that car to be my daily driver. Kind of where I'm at is I think I might sell the CB7, and we're gonna put this back to NA because it's a lot easier to sell these NA. I posted this in 2023, the summer, as a feeler while it was NA full bolt-on tuned B16A, and I got offers for the exact same that I did when I listed it this summer, boosted. Now, those were feeler posts to see how the car would bring in money, NA versus boosted. And I thought boosted it would bring in a lot more. To my surprise, I actually got offered more for it last year when it was NA than I did when it was boosted. Full transparency, the highest I got offered for it in this condition was 10 and 11K. Those are the highest offers I got. When I listed it NA, I had offers of 12 and 13. Just to put that into perspective, the economy might have quite a few things to do with it as well, but it's a lot easier to sell this car NA. There's a lot less qualms, people are a lot less, you know, scared of it breaking and upkeeping it and all this. So I think this winter we're gonna go back, put this thing back to NA and make it better than it's ever been before. We're gonna fix the reverse lights. I figured out how to do that, but I think the next step in this car is to put it back to NA, so if we do end up selling it, we can get the same, if not a little bit more than it boosted. I know it's backwards, it doesn't make sense, but I've listed it both ways and that's just how it went for me personally. Or go back to NA and keep it and potentially do a K-swap or something. It depends with this kind of move and where we're going. I haven't been talking about it a lot, but if it needs to sell, it'll be a lot easier NA, and then I have a whole B-Series turbo kit and the B18 I can sell as a package or separate to make up even more money. But I think I might get rid of the CB7 daily and the boosted EG and get something that I can build, but also daily drive, go to all the meets, you know, having one of those days where you just want to go turn on the tunes and go for a drive. You can't even do that in this car because it doesn't even have a radio. So I'm kind of thinking like 8th gen Accord, RSX Type S, maybe a 350Z, just get out of Hondas for now. Maybe a WRX STI, once again, get out of Hondas for now. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe an Audi, a GTI, a Golf R, something along the lines of that. Something that I can daily, I can hop in every day, I can drive to work, I can get groceries, but also make content for you guys. Not miss out on meets, because it's like, meets happen 6, 7 o'clock at night. I get off work 5:30, and then it's like to come all the way down here, skip dinner, pull this out, blah blah blah. The meet's already almost over. So I kind of want one of those cars again where I can build and make lots of content for you guys, because let's face it, this is pretty well tapped out. But not only that, it's like I can go enjoy it whenever I want. When there's a nice golden hour, I can go get photos for the gram. Whereas with this, I see a nice golden hour, to get down to the shop, pull this out just to get pictures in the golden hour's passed. You get like a 30-45 minute window. It takes me 20 minutes just to get here, and the car's not even out of the garage by that point. So I hinted it in the last video. Unfortunately, that video didn't do too well. That is okay, it happens. But this car will be going back to NA. Are we selling it? Are we keeping it? I don't know yet. I personally like the boost, but it's only really fun going fast in a straight line. You can't fly in and out of corners with your foot down, cracking VTEC all the time, because if you do, it'll just spin you right off the road. You'll be making a turn, hit boost, and the thing will start to go straight. You're doomed. When it was NA, sure, it was a lot slower, but in my opinion, it's funner to drive a slow car fast than a fast car fast, because this thing, it gets hot after a few boost pulls. You got to cool it off and all that. When it was NA, I could take it out any temperature, any time of the year, foot through the floorboard, cracking VTEC, singing in and out of corners, and it was a blast. So this might hurt some of you guys because we just boosted it, but this is my second boosted Honda. Back on the channel, maybe, I don't know, 5 years ago, we had a DA Integra with a fully built forged B18C with a ram horn manifold and a whole set HX35 turbo that made almost 500 wheel. This thing makes 300. So I've had the B16 turbo, I've had the B18 turbo, I've had the built, I've had the non-built, I've lived out the turbo. I like it. I prefer these engines NA. I'll just say it. It's more reliable. They don't overheat. You can go with your foot to the floor, cracking VTEC, sitting at 8,500, 9,000 RPM, just screaming. Whereas this, it's like you get a straight line, hit a few boost pulls, you get hot, you got to cool it off. And it's just, it's honestly, it's fun, but it's not as fun as it was NA for me. So we're going to go back to NA, and I would like to ideally maybe sell this car and sell the Accord and get something more of a daily driver out of it. That being said, when this goes back to NA and I drive it a few times, I might want to keep it again, but at this moment in time, I'm just longing for a car that I can drive daily, go to meets, go get the golden hour photos, and not have to plan a whole day around taking it out. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below, and also let me know what you think of our new F150. I'm loving the thing. It's out sitting pretty over there, 2014 5-liter. Absolutely mint, but as of right now, my main focus is on figuring out a nice car that I can build for you guys, get content with, but also daily. So put it in the comments below what you think on that, and until next video, guys, I'll see you next time. Comment, like, subscribe. Peace out.